little hand-sized fish very well after that. There we go. Good luck, Chris.
Yeah, and you, Bob. I would wish Matt Collins good luck, but I ain't gonna. I don't think you'll need it.
So normal drill, ship straight across, M prime no lines, literally tapping in next to nothing. So we're talking like, I don't know, 6 to 8 4mm pellets, and then a sprinkling of micros, whatever that might be, maybe 15 micros, just because I got big fingers. So just tapping them in and then just see what's going to happen. And to be honest with you, I had indication straight away. So obviously there was quite a lot of little fish there. Well, there was no ifs, no buts, no maybes, because look, I'm straight into a small fish. So that was a little bit of a relief, to be honest, because I was a little bit concerned with my peg. A bit mixed reports, like Ryan Ship, don't mean to name drop. He said he thought it would be really good because it's such a narrow peg, harder bottom, lots of fish there. Whereas myself, I was a little bit worried about it because it is the middle of the lake. Sometimes, like a lot of venues, ends tend to be better, just seem to hold the bigger fish. And with Matt Collins on peg 34 and 35 knot in and a wind blowing down to his right, I thought that would be favourable, to be honest. To be honest with you, it's such a simple match, so I don't feel I need to really go into like masses of detail. Really, I've got quite a long line because I just wanted to make it easy. Got a heavy rig. The long line just keeps the pole tip away from the float. Even though it doesn't look like a lot of colour, you could still see them fish quite soon. So I just like fishing longer line if I can get away with it. Obviously, an 8-inch rule is, your minimum line allowance, and then obviously 1 meter. But I've got a nice 0.4 grams of float. I've got a bolt and then just literally a 3-inch hook length, which I've probably said loads of times. That's how I like sort of fishing these venues like this. It's really, really direct, so you don't miss many bites. If they're having it, I've got a 6mm expander pellet, which, to be honest with you, is maybe a bit too big. It might have been better to maybe fish a 4mm, but I'm getting bites, and I feel if I've got a 6mm on, then it gives me more of a chance potentially catching some bigger stamp fish. So hopefully catch some proper carp, because there is a few in here, as Bob caught 3 next door to me. So I'm just going to tap in pellets, keep it really simple until sort of like bites dry up, to be honest. I mean, if you're getting bites, and just don't want to come off a line off feeding fish, especially this time of year, because it is getting colder now. I know it's almost November, but it's still reasonably mild for this time of year, and they're still responding to a little bit of bait. And also Moorhen hasn't really been fished loads to my knowledge. Andy, the owner, does obviously run like private bookings on it, so it does get fished a little bit, but not as much as say kingfisher or herring or anything. So a lot of us were all in the same boat. None of us really knew how it is going to respond today, so all of us sort of went on the edge of caution with sort of feeding, to be honest.
Yeah, I bet. About 12 and a half, I reckon.
So at the moment, it's been a great match so far, as you can see. So I think I've only pulled out of one fish. Obviously, this is speeded up. So yeah, I mean, how do I put it? You just like going through the motions at the moment. This is a very simple match. Just literally just tapping in a few pellets, eat, sleep, drink, repeat. That's all I'm doing. So I'm doing nothing fancy at all. So if it had stayed like this all day, I'd have done a hell of a weight. But unfortunately, as always, things do unfortunately start to fade. So you catch like your idiot fish. Now, one thing I have done, I actually have fished a little bit further off the bank because the far bank is a little bit rooty. Them trees opposite, I think they're silver birches. I'm no tree expert, far from it. So there's a little bit of roots there, so you've got to be a little bit careful. Then it's not horrific, so I don't want to paint the picture that, you know, my peg's full of snags, because that's a lie. But you want to be a little bit careful, because you can, unfortunately, you can up the root. So I've come a little bit further away from the far bank, and also it's flatter as well. So obviously that's definitely helped me, catch more fish. Whereas a few anglers have gone very, very tight, and it's like a bit of a rock face. So, you know, a cliff. So the bait's obviously rolling down the edge. So I'm quite lucky where I am. There's a little bit of a flat spot, not like massive, but enough obviously for me to concentrate some fish. So at the moment things are obviously going really, really well. So just playing a fish now on F1 is absolutely beautiful. It was even showed Bob the lovely fantail fish. Now obviously this is a voiceover, so I know what's going to happen now. As I watch this, things start to go a bit Pete Tong. Now obviously this is where the great anglers will come into it, so I should have started to think about and should have done it straight away, going to the right. Now this is where I took a bit too long. Now you've got to be a little bit careful, because sometimes maybe a big fish might have moved in, that's why the bites are slowed down. So you might miss the opportunity to catch maybe a 5-6 pounder, which is a big fish for this lake, because predominantly smaller fish and silvers. So, you know, this is where I should have moved to my right. I know hindsight's a wonderful thing. I'm pretty sure I pick up a light. Yeah, so I pick up a lighter rig now. So I go like a 4x8 float, because I've had obviously like a real crude sort of rig, and it just shows. Just put a light float on, and it's made no difference. It's still not getting bites, or not very clean bites. So this is where I should have moved to my right, which I do in a bit. So please note this video has not been edited in any way, as in the sense that I've cut anything out. So this is showing all my match from the beginning to now. All right, so it just shows that I literally just moved, just tapped in a few pellets, and straight away, unbelievably, I've caught. So priming and stuff this time of year on some venues, obviously like this venue at the moment, definitely don't want to be doing. So then big pots, which I've learned the hard way, need to stay in the carry-all. So yeah, but unfortunately this begins to fade. So we're coming into, I'm not sure how long the match is, because I've obviously speeded everything up. So it's probably coming into a good sort of maybe half an hour, 35 minutes maybe. So, you know, still ticking over nicely. Been mindful that other people are catching as well. So it's a good match. And I said it would probably be quite tight, which it was a little bit. Bob obviously I'll put the weights up now. Bob's had £109. I've had 91. Joe's had 79, and then there's been a 70 by Matt, and then a couple of 50s. So everyone's had a good day's fishing. Everyone's had loads of bites, which I think's great for me. You know, this time of year as well. Lovely when the float keeps going under. Now, decided to go down the edge. I have not like primed it. I put one toss pot, as in a small pot of pellets beforehand, about maybe 10 minutes before going on it. And to my surprise, it's gone under quite a bit. And I have caught a lot of skimmers to start off with, to be honest with you. And then I did catch a odd stocky carp mixed in. Then the skimmers did fade later in the match, which you won't see because obviously this is filmed on a GoPro, so my GoPro battery only lasts for about an hour, so I can only get really an hour of footage off one. Well, I can only get an hour of footage off one battery. So yeah, it was really good. I did throw a few 4mm on my 5 meter line, which I never even went on, to be honest. Maybe I should have, but looking around the lake, no one really caught really well short, so I didn't want to do it. And I was hoping that I'd catch some proper fish down that edge, especially later on. And towards the sort of about 40 minutes from the end, I started to give it a bit of bait, which wasn't good because it did slow me right down. But I felt I was behind Bob, which I was. And I felt maybe I was enough in front of Joe to take that opportunity. I must admit, I thought I was a little bit further in front of Joe than what I was, because obviously it was only about, what, £12, which isn't a massive amount. So, yeah, took that gamble, didn't pay off, but lucky enough, it didn't cost me any points. So I was second, and we come second overall in the pairs.